Undrafted Uncensored Cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to the Undrafted Uncensored, where it is a wonderful, beautiful, lovely day. Baseball is happening. Rockies win. Rymack walks it off. And I have a rule for you two at the end or towards the end of the show.
Well, good. So then we can talk about how they blew it and the bullpen is terrible when they had a 4-run lead going into the ninth inning. Right now. I mean, we can talk about how it was a 2-1 game against a team with the 30th highest payroll in Major League Baseball.
Get your digs in now.
I was going to say Chris, that too, for sure.
Chris Bryant, you got your 1 home run. Congratulations. We'll see you in another month and a half.
Get your digs in now.
I'm gonna have to shut up during the whole round.
We already have one.
No, you can talk. You can be nice for 5 minutes.
Not without subtle jabs.
No subtle jabs. Nothing. You have to be nice.
I read what you wrote.
Where's the fun in that?
I'm not making you buy anything. I'm not trying to convert you to my religion or anything. You just have to be nice to the Rockies for 5 minutes because damn it, they earned it. They took good at bats in the ninth. Rymack came up, did what Rymack's supposed to do.
They earned it by getting their second win on the season.
I thought they were supposed to lose.
Have to be nice. I'm gonna be nice to them. It's the one day we have to be nice to them.
Didn't you say last week that they were supposed to lose? And that's what they were doing, was losing?
Yeah. But they won yesterday, and we have to be nice to them because it was opening day. It's their day.
Okay, just because it's opening day.
Yeah, that's why I said it's like 5 minutes. I put it at the end so that way nothing can be misconstrued or anything. We can
speed through it and get to the victory formation.
Basically, actually win. I know Colin will not be able to hold his tongue, so I put it at the end.
Play it now; it's fine.
No, I want him to
already dug into him.
I want him to suffer a little bit. Speaking of not their day, apparently the UConn women did not have a good ending to the game last night. I was just finishing watching the last 4 minutes of the game. But it looked like they kind of found a way to settle down Caitlin Clark a little bit. She ends up going for, I think it was 25 points at the end of the game. Got to pull those stats up again. Sorry, I had them up and then I got distracted. But I mean, obviously she's the main catalyst right now of why everybody's watching NCAA women. I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. The woman's an amazing basketball player.
Oh yeah, but she was also pretty slow coming out. She had like 2 points in the first quarter, I want to say, something like that.
Okay.
It was pretty rough, but then obviously she came on and they came back and they won.
I mean, that's happened to her twice in the tournament, though, now, where she had a slow first half, and then the second half she came out and blew up. I think it was the second round when she was playing where she didn't have a great first half. She was kind of held in check, and then the second half she just went off and helped them win. So, I mean, she's the best women's basketball player in college, and there's no doubt about it. Going through LSU.
She's the best scorer ever, period, in basketball. She passed Pistol Pete.
Well, yeah, and that's, I mean, in basketball, period. I see what you're saying. I was going to say,
I'm just saying just as a scorer. There's other elements, too.
Yes,
we're not saying she's the best.
No.
She's definitely, one of the best, like I said, the best scorer.
People
still go on droughts, like you say. I didn't realize she had a couple slow starts already in the tournament, so she just kind of doesn't care. She's just, she's got that, ice in the veins shit.
Yeah, she comes through, and I mean, I was just tough. And when you have a player that is that much better than everyone else, you have to put all your focus on her. And it frees up the other players who might not be as good as her, but are still talented and can make some buckets. That's really all that you have to do. We talked about it even in the world, the World Basketball Cup or whatever, where they basically just triple teamed Jokic and none of his teammates could make a shot. So that's like all you need to do is have your teammates make wide open shots every once in a while, because the other team isn't going to be, as consistent either, because Iowa does play pretty good defensively also. We saw them hold the CU women's team to, what was that, like 40 points, 38, something like that. It was like, it was a low scoring game. And
there was a bad foul at the end of that game too.
I don't. That game was over. I probably stopped watching it either way. Don't remember a bad foul at the end of that game since they took off in the second half. But it's just, she's going to be the face going into the WNBA, and hopefully, we'll be able to get some fans and some eyes on it. But the thing is, unfortunately for women's basketball, is that once March Madness ends and your college time is over, that's like your time in the sun is kind of done, because the WNBA just doesn't pull. It's like, look at these amazing things she's doing in college, and then you get to the WNBA and there's just no coverage, or not enough, I guess I should say.
I don't know, man. I think that's going to change with her. I think they're going to follow her career. She's going to be the Victor Wembanyama of women's basketball, and they're going to start covering it more. ESPN's been trying to push more of it anyway. But I think they're going to try. I think people aren't going to care quite as much. But it depends on how they do it. If they cover it from a place of basketball, then I'm interested, at least. I'd be more interested if there was a team in Denver, but that's just me. But if they cover it from a perspective of, people keep saying that nobody's looking at us and kind of complaining that nobody's looking instead of just trying to grow the brand and that kind of thing, that would sort of make me not take it as seriously.
Well, it's kind of hard
to so it depends on how the coverage goes, I feel like, too. Sorry.
It's also hard to grow the brand when it's so lightly promoted that, I mean, you look at the gap between, when the WNBA started and now, even in the last 10 years, how many stories have you heard about the WNBA?
Just Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, not just, but that's the biggest.
But that's the big story, yeah. And that was within the last 5 years.
Like, we've heard of maybe Taurasi, maybe Sue Bird, but we don't know why. We see them on commercials, and people tell us that they were good at one point, but we weren't paying attention. We don't really know.
Well, and a lot of that too stems from we kind of get our women's basketball from the Olympics too, and so every 4 years is usually when we start paying more attention. Not to be mean, but the WNBA just doesn't put themselves out there enough.
Well, I mean, Joe, you said that ESPN is going to promote it more. I mean, I believe that, but you're also not. You think of the stars. I mentioned Brittany Griner. I mean, there was Lisa Leslie when everything first started. Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, you mentioned Sue Bird. Like, there are names that have gone to the NBA that have been really good from college basketball. But the thing is, like, you said the Victor Wembanyama of the WNBA.
Yeah.
She's got to be like, Steph Curry. But the thing is, you go to the NBA and your competition in college compared to the WNBA, I might have just said NBA, compared to the WNBA, is much different. And I don't think that she's going to still be able to do some damn good things. I'm not saying she's going to be irrelevant in the WNBA, but it's not going to be the same highlight reel night in, night out, because the talent level is so much more focused in the WNBA. You don't have all of 300 teams. I don't know how many women's basketball D1 programs there are, but you don't have that many programs that have talent spread out. I mean, there's a dozen or 8 WNBA teams? Maybe it's 10. I think
I had to pull up. Hang on.
I'm pretty sure it's a dozen. 6 in each division.
6, 3, 12.
Yeah. So you got 12. And the NBA has 30 So you're going from a talent level. You have a much more focused and better product in the WNBA. So I think she's just not going to be able to do the same things. And that's why the highlight reels in college are so much more focused, because she's able to do those things night in, night out. And in the WNBA, I just don't think she's going to. There isn't a Victor Wembanyama type going to the WNBA.
Well, in terms of talent, no. But I feel like just with the star power alone, like they're going to, if she struggles, they're going to cover that too. You know, and they'll maybe even use that as a jumping off point to be like, you know, Caitlin Clark gets bested by Sabrina Ionescu or whatever.
But how long is that going to last?
Oh, not very long. If nothing happens and nobody cares, that's what I'm saying. Exactly, and that was my whole point. Was, you know, people might not care, but they're going to try. They're going to promote it, and then we'll see if it catches on. You know?
Well, the biggest story last year was Becky Hammond. She's a coach. She's not even a player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a way that there can be some kind of balance. And I understand, you know, I hate saying this way because I feel so mean, but the talent level between the NBA and the WNBA, I mean, there's always going to be a stigma about the women don't play as well. They're not as aggressive, I guess. I don't know. It's just something different about the game that doesn't seem to draw as many people. But at the same time, I feel like if you start hitting some other markets, maybe markets where they don't have a basketball team, then maybe you can start producing, I don't know, a better product maybe.
Well, and I don't even know if this is the right way to go about it, but something like the XFL or USFL did last year, where they played most of their games in one place.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that these cities don't have a following for their team, but you have, you know, all of their games in one area, or maybe two areas. You have an east and west home side, and your teams are just playing there, and you build a fan base through that. You build a fan base through that, because it's just like I said, I don't know the best way to go about it. I just feel like you mentioned it too, Joe, that there's no Denver team, so it's hard to even cheer for anyone besides the names that we know. And then all of a sudden you hear, oh well, you know, whoever, you know, Sue Bird went off tonight, or we'll hear Caitlin Clark's name again, and then what we'll say, oh, I remember Caitlin Clark from Iowa.
I'll help you with that pull machine there. Lisa Lobo.
Lisa Lobo was an original. There you go.
Let's go way back in the Wayback Machine there.
That's a good name. I've never heard of her, but that sounds cool.
Never heard of Lisa Lobo?
Nope.
Oh, dude, do yourself some research.
She's one of the originals in the WNBA.
Yeah. One of the OGs. I love the name.
Legit badass.
Los Lobos, you know?
Yes.
I mean, so how far is heaven?
Well, heaven is heaven's a few hours away still, because the men still haven't finished their Final Four yet.
There you go.
Some of us are still surviving. You know, our heads right about here. Just keeping our head above water right now.
That's all you can do, man.
Sitting in fourth place, waiting for that UConn game.
Just waiting for that UConn game.
Yeah, Nick, Nick kind of needs the UConn team to win, but I actually think that you do not have a chance at all, Nick, even if UConn does win, because
say what?
Because the person ahead of you, which I will show you as I share this.
Yeah, share that with me.
You, Colin?
Did I miss something? No, he got eliminated in the second round.
Oh, that's
no,
right.
I was eliminated in the first round.
Whoa,
I was eliminated day one. I mean, I had no shot at this thing since day one.
No shot.
Yeah, I was over. I was over and done with.
He was Shane McMahon.
Yep.
So, Nick, you're pretty much done. Yeah, Nate is still hanging on in first somehow.
But he's only so it says points and possible points. Nope. I still have a possibility of.
Damn it, Nick! Would you let me talk?
Nope.
So, like I said, Nate is somehow still hanging on in first. But in second, you have Andre, who also has Connecticut winning it all with a possibility of 121 and one more point than Nick. Nick, you have a possibility of 120 at 72. So, therefore, if you look at the two brackets,
Don't
which
do
I
that.
can't really pull up side by side, but I can show you that he only has UConn going, still surviving, and playing Houston. Nick? Nick's best guess bracket. You still have Illinois, the Creighton. So you have Alabama. So you need Alabama to also come through for you in the South bracket. Or you have the Alabama one. So actually, if Connecticut wins, excuse me, I was wrong. If Connecticut wins, you're still not going to be able to win it because he has the points over you for the championship.
By one freaking point.
By 1 point. So it doesn't really matter. Oh, he still has Purdue. So you actually
Oh,
you
that's
you might need Purdue to lose also.
That was the one that bit me in the ass.
But then you go to David Supsy. He has got Connecticut and Purdue also, and he is so if both of those teams win and go to the championship, and Purdue wins it all, he'll win everything. So I don't think you have the ability to win it because of. I mean, I could be wrong. Once again, I could be wrong. But look at the point totals
you
and
got
where
the
the
final
brackets
point. Yeah,
sit. He has one more total point than you. And
according to my
because of this
calculations.
Final four with Purdue being in there.
Damn it, CU.
I think you're screwed because of your Final Four.
Yeah.
Because you can't have Alabama. I mean, you have Alabama in there, but he has Purdue on the other side. So you can't. You can only get that right. He can get 2 right and still move ahead.
Damn it, Duke.
Damn it, Duke. Yeah, fuck Duke.
Oh, so there you go.
Damn it. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's great to see you guys hang around. I'm gonna go now.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in and watching Nick's hopes vanish.
Yeah. So I'm dead now.
Yep. So Nick would like to announce his resignation. I'm kidding.
Yeah. All because of one stupid point. Thanks, Buffs.
Yep.
All right. So, I guess we'll move on to the NBA since we talked WNBA already.
We're gonna
NCAA games. We'll pick these NCAA games at the end.
You're just gonna skip right over the Frozen Four.
The Frozen Four happens next weekend.
Okay, fine then.
There's not really a ton to talk about. They
just got the bracket established now. Really.
I mean, do you play
Colin's already fumbled. He's already fucking it up.
Chance. There are 2 teams. Well, it's not a huge listeners don't listen to a lot of college hockey insight like they do March Madness. There are 2 teams going for their 10th championship, both DU and Michigan. There's a possibility they meet in the championship game. It's something to watch for, but the game is Thursday afternoon, game 1, and if the Pioneers win, they play Saturday, and hopefully they go for 10. So hopefully next Saturday when I'm talking to you, I'm getting ready to go do play-by-play for a championship game from the Frozen Four for the GU Pioneers.
Don't lie to people. You're not doing the play-by-play.
Intermission reports, excuse me.
There you
My fault. I said play-by-play. Sorry, Jay. I'm stealing your job.
I'm trying to steal people's jobs.
I actually told him the other day on the show I was stealing his job. So there we go. I'm already, act as if you're already there. See, I moved myself into the lead host position.
Yeah, you were gunning.
I am here now, so that's what I'm doing.
Now, you're gunning for Nick. Now you're gunning for Jay.
Nick, would you like the wheels back to go to the WNBA, or should I just take control of this train?
I mean, I would like to go talk about Jamal Murray now and the handful of games the Nuggets have left.
You can't take the wheel of a train, Colin.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't have a wheel. It doesn't turn. It's a train. It's on tracks.
But it's on wheels.
That's different.
I can take a wheel from a train.
Sure. Just
rock me, baby, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, baby, anyway.
I can take a wheel from a train. Watch.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do.
You just think Colin with a screwdriver, like, I'm gonna fucking get this thing off.
So still no official announcement. Joker's probable, AG's probable, and Jamal is still questionable. Nuggets are getting help from the league because for whatever weird reason they keep getting dubs when they're not playing. Tied for first right now. Obviously, Minnesota has the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Did I say something? Did I miss something?
What do you mean?
No, it was funny. Your Nuggets keep getting dubs when they're not playing. That was funny. I was laughing.
Okay. You both started
I'm just
chuckling
not
like
trying to-
it was
It's because that was
weird
funny.
timing.
I was
weird
just agreeing
trying
with
not
you,
to-
but I love
I was
it that
trying
Nick
not to
just
interrupt you with
assumes
my
that
laugh.
Colin's like fucking with him and notice and is about to say some shit.
I was like, what did I say now?
God damn it, Colin, leave me alone.
But anyway, the Nuggets
like
keep getting
what you
wins when
said.
they're not. So they're tied for first right now with Minnesota. Obviously, the T-Wolves have the tiebreaker. But just a handful of games left. I'll be okay with second. And as long as Jamal comes out healthy. Because if the Nuggets rush him back and he gets hurt in that first round, I mean, we've seen what the Nuggets do when they don't have Jamal. And that's
Not much.
painful.
Well, the T-Wolves have the T-Wolves have the tiebreaker right now, but there's still one more game against them.
The
So,
T-Wolves have the T-breaker.
but there's still one more game, so it doesn't really matter at this moment in time.
I mean, it's still
like-
matters, but we'll see.
At this moment, but it's the tiebreaker doesn't matter until after the fourth game is played against that team, or if one team has won 3 already. It's
Well,
one
yeah.
two, so the Nuggets can tie it up and overtake the tiebreaker scenario
And
again.
the Nuggets would have the tiebreaker if they win the game.
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm looking at the standings with everything, and I think that the way that it breaks down is that
Wouldn't that be
This is
2
the
and 2?
part where the rat breaks down.
So that make it 2 and 2. So it'd be based on points.
oh no, it would be
No one makes
conference,
a sign.
Oh, okay.
and the Nuggets are 30 and 18 in the conference. It's either conference or division.
Okay.
But
I think
either way,
division
the
matters
T-Wolves,
more.
yeah, the T-Wolves have some more wins. So yeah,
I mean-
they do have. So the Nuggets are basically 2 games back. But even if they're still tied with them, I know they have the tiebreaker against OKC.
Yeah.
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 So
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
They've owned OKC, which has been nice because they're the team that everyone has been talking, super
Right.
scary about. Chet does change the way Jokic plays, but he's still just young, and Jokic can outduel him for sure. But these playoffs are going to be so weird. Like, I'm not super concerned with the exact seeding because you can't even really gauge like which side of the bracket you want to be on. Like last year, you kind of didn't want to be on the side of the bracket that had Golden State, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, all those teams. When our side of the bracket had, we ended up playing, T-Wolves, who ended up being really good, and then the Suns. So it ended up being a Colin anyway. But like this year, you can't tell which side's going to have which teams because everyone's so close. Everything's so locked in tight. It looks like the Warriors are probably going to keep that 10 seed. So we're going to get, Steph, LeBron, maybe KD all in the play-in tournament. I think the Suns might have come up a little bit, but the Warriors beat the Rockets, so they're probably going to keep that 10 spot. So everything's going to be moving around a lot. So you don't really care which side of the bracket you end up on. So I say let the chips fall where they may, give it a shot against Minnesota if you're healthy, but if not, fuck it. Give some time to Reggie Jackson and Colin Gillespie and all these other people and let some of those guys get some more reps. Let Reggie try to get some more consistency. Let Christian Brown score on some bench guys because he's been getting more and more confident. Colin and I were at the game against the Spurs. It was funny. He texted me about it, and I was busy doing car stuff. And apparently I was 2 minutes away from the deadline, folks, of him giving the ticket to Nick.
I gave you 45 minutes to answer about going to the game because I wasn't waiting until the last minute. So Nick was waiting in the wings like a champ.
Yeah, that's absolutely understandable. So it was cool that I caught it, but yeah,
I was all the way at the outlets at Thornton too.
Yeah, I was actually close to downtown. I was in the ghetto on Federal and Mississippi. Anyway, but yeah, Christian Brown's out there doing stuff. Colin's screaming his head off. Come on, Christian!
And then he got a steal from Wembanyama.
He did. He got a steal from Wemby right after Colin said it. So you're never going to convince me that it wasn't Colin who he really juiced him up and gave him that power of friendship, anime power up. he got the steal on the big guy. So I'm okay
Care
with
Bear
it either way.
stare.
Exactly. Care Bear stare, or like one of the Captain Planet guys, like zapping you with their thing to get. I think they can give you power. I don't actually remember. Or the one guy, Heart. That's what it was. Hey, there's my guy. There's Clayton. What's up, buddy?
So there's.
But yeah, so I'm not super worried one way or the other. You're not going to catch the Celtics, so who gives a shit? They're going to have home court against you no matter what. Everybody else in the West, it's going to be so close. I just think you can handle them one way or the other. And you just hope that somebody beats Boston because home court advantage is kind of nice. But also, I kind of want Boston. I think we have a good matchup against them, and I'm okay with that. Obviously, that's way in the future, and we have to get there first. But yeah, I'm not super concerned with one way or the other.
And not just Clayton for tuning in, thank you, but also everybody else that's tuned in as well. Whatever platform you're watching us on. Real quick, just so you guys know, the playoffs started today. The Lakers and Warriors would play each other in the play-in. The Pelicans and the Kings would play each other. The winner of the Lakers-Warriors would play the loser of the Pels and the Kings. Winner of Pels and Kings will play Denver. And the winner of the that other play-in game would go play Minnesota.
The winner of the loser of the Sacramento Pels King versus the winner of the Lakers Warriors would play the
My brain got confused trying to follow the arrows, and
it's really screwed up. Whoever wins the Pelicans Sacramento Kings game plays.
That's the only game we care about.
The loser right now, the loser of that game plays either the Lakers or Warriors, and whoever wins that game would play the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be a hilarious round one. Minnesota does all this to get the first round pick and everything, and they have to play the Lakers or the Warriors. They match up better against the Warriors, but
Pelicans.
Dude, Pelicans are good. They're on a streak right now.
On them right now.
That's an interesting game. If it ends up being who knows? The Suns could drop a couple games and drop into that. Pelicans could just win a bunch and move up. But Pelicans Kings, who would you take? That's an interesting. I mean, the Kings are injured, but they have that high-powered offense.
About the Rockets. Sorry.
What's up?
Sorry, I was gonna say, don't you forget about the Rockets. They're still hanging on by a thread. Only last team not eliminated.
Technically not, but they have to win 5 out of the next 6 and have Golden State lose a bunch. Sadly, I heard that exact stat too, so I was like, oh, I actually know this one. But Kings Pelicans, that's kind of fun. And then obviously, Lakers Warriors one-off elimination game. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see Zion hanging around in a playoff matchup in playoff matchups or playoff series. He's just too often injured, and I know he's been pretty healthy this year. I can't see him lasting throughout a whole playoffs because he hasn't done it. I hope he does, because Zion is one of those players who can really be great, and he's never been able to put it all together. So
I just noticed your hat, Nick. I love it.
Thank you.
I just think the Nuggets are fine as long as Jamal Murray gets healthy and these guys are healthy going in the playoffs. 1, 2, 3 seed, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really, none of it really scares me, because the NBA also does the reseeding, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? So you're always playing, the top seed is always playing the lowest seed, right?
No,
it's not bracketed.
It is bracketed, yeah.
It is bracketed?
Yes.
Okay, I thought they changed it.
Yeah, so that way, maybe they changed it, but I'm pretty sure it's still bracketed, because last year it was bracketed. So I've been under the impression it's bracketed. So which side of the bracket you're on makes a difference to an extent. But this is such a fucking gauntlet. This year it really doesn't matter. I'll take whatever. If I'm looking at New Orleans and Sacramento, I'd rather go against Sacramento because they've beaten us a couple times this year. So I'd like to beat them. Also, like I said, they're injured. So not having Kevin Huerter, and there's somebody else that's out for them too. But that's who I'd like to go against, because the Pelicans, they just have too many good players. They have Zion is amazing, but he's also often injured. But like Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, they still have Jonas Valanciunas. Like they're just good at every position. And they're really good at a few positions. Like I said, Ingram and CJ McCollum. So that's a team that could go off, but they just don't have it all together. And the Nuggets would still, I think, pick them apart just fine. But I would rather play Sacramento because also I'd like to get them kind of out of the way too. Fuck those guys that beat us this season, and I want to beat them. Didn't they beat us by like 30 or 40? I want to say, fuck that. Yeah, no, I want to beat the Kings. That would be fun. But New Orleans would be fine too. I think we'd have a good matchup against them because just pass around, fuck them up. Everything sounds good. But yeah, man, Minnesota ends up playing one of them. So then you got the 3-6 matchup right now would be OKC and Phoenix. That's awesome. Kevin Durant playing in OKC. Like, that sounds amazing. I want to watch that. That sounds great. Or, 1 game difference if New Orleans goes up, all of a sudden New Orleans is kicking ass. You got the 4-5 with the Clippers and the Mavericks. That sounds like fun.
But like you said, these guys are so close. There's still a lot of movement that can happen in these games too.
Oh, 100%. Anything can happen. That's why
looking ahead to these matchups with 7 games left is kind of weird.
It's almost like you treat it like an NFL season, just game by game, because everything is so up in the air. Just try to stay healthy, try to keep your seeding up to an extent, but don't stress about it because you're in the playoffs, and that's, at the end of the day, what matters the most.
Yeah, I mean, the only things locked in are basically the East has all their playoff teams. The West has all of them besides one, and that's Houston losing. And then your top 3 are set pretty much in the West. And there's a jumble in the middle there for the most part. Golden State's, unless they go on a run, they're probably going to end up in that 9-10 playing game. Like, that's kind of how this is going to play out. But there's still a lot of movement that can happen anywhere from 4 to 8.
Yeah,
4 to
it'd be
7.
crazy if Sacramento lost a couple games and all of a sudden the Lakers move up. So then the Kings have to play a one-off elimination game against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Rematch of last year. That'd be fun. Obviously, both teams are very different. But I like all of this. I want the playoffs to start now.
I want to call to your attention something real quick.
I don't pay much attention to anything.
Clayton's breaking our hearts a little bit.
Yeah?
Look at his last comment.
Is he talking about Milwaukee Bucks?
He wants the Bucks to play the Nuggets.
It's a little heartbreaking there.
That's a good matchup. Yeah.
I told you that I was afraid of the Bucks.
I'm not afraid of the Bucks. They have Doc Rivers. That sounds awesome. I would love that.
Oh God.
Damian Lillard, he's beaten the Nuggets before, but they've also beaten him. So I'm not like scared of Dame, but he can do it. But it's also not his team. It's a combination team. And they're still getting all their shit together with Chris Middleton not playing a ton of the season too. Brook Lopez finally getting to play his normal drop defense he likes to play. So that's kind of an upgrade for them that Doc Rivers did. But I don't know, man. It's a team I don't necessarily trust, but the East is full of those. Like somebody has to win. I don't trust Boston with their reliance on the 3. I don't trust the Bucks with their coaching, and I think next year they're going to be much better with this combination of guys and just being able, kind of like how the Suns this year, how last year they didn't super have it together. The Knicks are fun because it's just defense. Don't forget about the defense, and they're just a bunch of heart. But at the end of the day, not just Josh Hart, but and then Cleveland is just size and Donovan Mitchell. And that's fun too. But I don't really trust any of those teams. You can see any of them. And then you got Miami sitting there just waiting to beat everyone,
Huh?
And Magic? I forgot about the Magic. They're kind of good. It's going to be fun.
They're an East Coast problem right now. I don't care about the East. East means nothing to me. They're all dead to me right now.
It's just fun to watch. It's one of those, I like tournaments. Some of my favorite animes have fighting tournaments, basketball tournaments, football tournaments, and playoffs. Tournaments are fun.
Playoffs. Anyway, 4 games left. Nuggets have 1 home game left. It would be the second of a back-to-back. They play Utah on Tuesday, come back home, host Minnesota at Ball Arena on Wednesday. Day off, fly to Sacramento, and then day off to fly to Memphis. So they'll end the season in Memphis, Tennessee.
Walking in Memphis.
Okay, I'll allow that
to
song.
Nashville.
So 4 games left. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that can go on. Obviously, like I said, the Nuggets are getting help from everybody else around the league. So I'll take it. The team that is not getting any help and they are not helping themselves, though, seems to be the Colorado Avalanche. Last 3 games, they've alternated losses and victories, which is not fun.
Yeah, last night was rough.
Last night was a lot of bad bounces. Nothing went their way. They also just were playing to the fact that they were coming in on a back-to-back, flying from Minnesota to Edmonton. And they did not seem engaged from the start.
One thing that bothered me, I was at a bar last night watching the games. And
We had a bar last night. I feel like
yeah.
mentioned.
I wasn't sure if I said that before we started recording or not. I couldn't remember. But I was seeing it, and they had the post game, and they gave away like a game puck to somebody. I think one of the newer guys. But you lost 6-2, and you're giving away a game puck to somebody.
That was probably
kind of bothers me.
I think it was probably a celebratory puck.
It might have been his first goal or something.
Yeah.
But like you lost by more than double, and you're giving away. It might have been his first goal. I think it was Connor McDermott. Is that
no? It wasn't McDermott.
Somebody along those lines. Newer guy, younger guy, but still, like, it just felt bad. I didn't hear what they were talking about, so maybe it was a different kind of thing. But it was like, man. It's like that scene in Moneyball when it's like, this is what losing sounds like, and he just fucking smashes the radio. I don't want him to go that far, but it felt off, you know? And so hopefully they can kind of tighten it up and button it up and turn it back on for the playoffs, like they did a few years ago. But, things like that make me a little concerned.
Was it...
No, it was no one's first goal or anything like that. I don't know what they were doing a puck for, but but what I'm saying, like, I'm not as worried about it because these losses the Avs have mostly been against East teams from the East. Columbus, that's one that Bednar typically and the team doesn't typically get up for. They lost to the Rangers. They lost to the Canadians. It's. I think since McKinnon lost his streak, some of that fire kind of is like, all right, let's just get to the playoffs. We don't need to be as sharp as we don't have to stay as sharp as we were to keep McKinnon going.
Yeah,
I know the Oilers are in the West with the Avs, but I just feel like now it's kind of okay. This is our destiny. We're sitting here at second. The chances of catching Dallas are not as likely.
Yeah, but there was still that chance, though, of them actually being able to do it. And that's, I think, what's more frustrating is, coming into today, you're 3 points behind. You win that game yesterday, you're 1 point out.
Well, but Dallas also has another game, too.
They do have a game in hand.
Yeah, Dallas has a game in hand. So, like that Columbus loss and the Rangers loss. I mean, those ones, like I said, I don't think Bednar cared as much about those. I mean, the Avs have shown it, like I said in the past. Not that they didn't try, but once McKinnon's streak was over, it's kind of okay. Well, let's stop pressing as much. And I think it was a lot more of the other guys because you saw in the game where McKinnon scored at the end of the third period, those guys were trying to get him the puck, to get him that point. And I think the other guys, more so than Nate, was focused on it. Like, they were telling him to keep shooting, kind of Kobe-esque in his last game. Like, nope, you just shoot. And I just think that that's over. They're looking forward to the playoffs. Dallas has the game in hand, like I said. Their chances of catching them, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the Avs also know that they don't need the number 1 seed to win it all. And that's okay. Dallas has a way of choking in the playoffs, much like they kind of feel like the Avs from a few years ago, where they just couldn't get out of the second round.
Well, and they've got
against Dallas. Yeah,
it's looking like a pretty good schedule too for Dallas. Let me pull it back up. I hit the wrong freaking button.
It's so easy to do.
Well, like I told you guys at the start of the at like the start of the year for the Avs second half, it was the hardest schedule in the NHL.
Yeah.
Their first half was the easiest first half of anyone in the NHL. So it was going to be tough for them to maintain to get to first place, and the trades they made have helped propel them into this contention, into an area of contention. But it's going to be difficult for them to hold it.
Yeah, it'll be from a lower seed most likely, but that's how it goes. Broncos won a Super Bowl from a lower seed with John Elway. Shit can happen.
So Dallas has the Blackhawks tonight. They come to Denver on a back-to-back. That's on national TV. So Chicago, then Colorado. They'll have a day out. They'll fly to Buffalo. Then they'll go to Winnipeg, Seattle, and end the season in St. Louis. So that's at home. So they fly back home. They have a 4-game home streak or home stand. That's some bullshit.
And then they get to play at home for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Because they host Buffalo, Winnipeg, Seattle, and St. Louis.
I mean, every team has had those home stands. They just so happen to get it at the end of the season. Good lucky for them,
Bullshit.
That's some bullshit.
I mean, the Avs play 4 out of their last 5 at home.
Yeah, so they host Dallas tomorrow. They have Minnesota Tuesday, Winnipeg on Saturday after 3 days off. They'll go to Vegas on a back-to-back on Sunday, and then they'll end at home against Edmonton. So that Vegas flight, we all know is just, an hour and a half, if that.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast the plane goes.
Yeah, right.
How much headwind, giggity.
Giggity goo.
That was also sexual.
Oh, man. Well, you know what was just as satisfying?
Nothing is as satisfying as Quagmire and Giggity.
The Rockies walking off with a grand slam last night.
Yes, see, I stand by my statement.
Give it to the Rockies. Well, so again, this is I give you guys 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes. You have to be nice to the Rockies. If it's the entire segment, it's the entire segment. But this is the one time I want to be nice to the Rockies.
Okay,
because A, they gave us a win. B, they gave us a good opening day. It was exciting. It was a little further than it needed to be, but they were going to win regardless. So even if you don't bring in Justin Lawrence, they were going to win.
Okay. I know about the Grand Slam. That is actually kind of cool.
So it is 42-45. Go.
It was fun being there to watch the Grand Slam walk-off. It was nerve-wracking watching the team lose the lead in the 9th inning. But when you have such faith in your team at home at Coors Field, knowing they can bash home runs, and you have your $185 million man due up to bat in the next inning, you know that there's always a chance for your team to win that game when he's going to be coming up to bat. He's going to get at least 3 swings, and one of those 3 swings should be a good one. You're hoping going into the 9th. And so, yeah, they didn't have a great 9th. They didn't have a great 9th inning, but they found a way to come back and win. I would like to give a very big hats off to the humidor man for unplugging it. Good job, Rockies, on pre-planning those baseballs for the Tampa Bay Rays to be dried out. Old balls, if you haven't seen Big Daddy, it's a great one. Old dry balls for the pitcher to have that were terrible. Good job, Rockies in the background. You didn't send secret scouts into the other team's locker room. You just unplugged the humidor and gave them dry baseball. So great work there. Great work, Rockies fans. I don't those who stayed, the few that stayed, great work. I think you did a phenomenal job. The ushers, good job of keeping everybody out of the rows that they're not supposed to be sitting in. I got to give myself a pat on the back. Good job. Still not spending any money at Coors Field. I just had my water.
Being nice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm proud of
the team, not to Colin.
I just said I'm not spending money at Coors Field, and so I stayed by that as a fan.
That's a good thing.
True to my fandom promise to the Rockies, that I would not spend money. So I did a good job in controlling that. But the people did show up, and as usual, everyone was there. I think that those fans that are there, do I hope this starts something great for the Rockies? Of course, I hope something great starts for them, and I hope they can continue this. If I believe it, I'll just leave that answer for another minute and a half away from now, because Nick won't like it very much. I just think that this team in the home opener, they were built for it, and the way that they were able to hold a lead for most of the game was very reassuring. And the way they were able to come back.
Don't call it a comeback.
They struck early. They got a lead. They held it. I could have told you Justin Lawrence isn't a closer. I don't like him being a closer. I don't know why they had him in there.
That's not very nice, Nick. That's not very nice.
See, but this is my time right now, and I'm trying to get somewhere with this.
You said
I don't know.
Had to be nice.
I've been nice to the club, though. I've been.
Has
nice.
it been 5 minutes?
That just wasn't very
you set
nice.
The rules.
But you didn't let me finish.
Has it been 5 minutes?
No, but he didn't let me finish. It was getting to a spot where it was going to be.
I saved all my bad stuff for afterwards, Nick.
Let me finish.
No, you didn't. Anyway,
Justin Lawrence.
Anyway, thank you, Ryan McMahon, for doing what we've known you've been able to do since your career in Albuquerque, which is bash the hell out of the ball. Ryan Mac comes and saves the day, as he always should. He's probably playing himself out of Colorado, which I'll be a little sad about. But if he can go somewhere and win, then good for him. The Rockies maybe found a closer. I don't know. We'll find out. But the best part about it was because as I told you, we had other friends over at Jackson's. We went over there, and of course, they want to stand by the DJ. I don't know why. The guy was terrible. So me being me,
maybe that's why.
AirPods in,
like, hey man, play something else.
TV on the screen, and I just happened to be calling the last at bat for Ryan Mac as he drives it into right field, deep into the Denver afternoon to send everybody home with a big smile on their face. You have 30 seconds, by the way, so calm your tits. Joe?
I didn't know that there was a Grand Slam, so that's pretty cool. Grand Slams are fun. Good on them for getting one. That's pretty fun. What's the time at?
That's the third walk-off Grand Slam in Rockies history. Not on opening day, just in
it's a walk-off? Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Walk-off Grand Slam.
Bottom of the ninth.
5 seconds.
Word. That's pretty cool. I mean,
first one was hit by who?
It's just like,
who was the first one hit by?
It's just too bad it's the Rockies,
Well, the problem is that the Rockies let it get to that part in the ninth inning.
I'm going to assume Todd Helton.
No, it was Brian Spielberg's.
The fact
the one time I don't get Spielberg's.
The fact, we saw Spilly while we were there too, Joe. The fact that the Rockies have no sort of bullpen there, and yes, everyone left after the ninth, and I don't blame them. I actually took a video going into the ninth that I posted on our Facebook page. It said, well, it's the ninth inning. Rockies are up by 4. What are they going to do to screw this up? Can they hold on? I don't know. And guess what? They gave up 5 runs.
But you didn't include the walk-off Grand Slam to.
I did. I did put a video up at the end.
It didn't pop up on my feed yet.
It should have. I uploaded. I was like, I still have it on my phone at the stadium, so I was obviously there.
You might have.
I was wrong. But that's the problem. Like, you can't have any faith in this team, and it sucks. They're pitching. They did a good job, but I said it before. They did it against a team that is one of the lowest payrolls in all of Major League Baseball.
Also,
they're in full rebuilding mode.
Last year.
What?
They were also a postseason team last year.
Yeah, but they also got rid of many of their players besides Randy Arozarena. They lost their starting pitchers this year. Traded away. They're in a rebuild mode.
One's also on the ineligible list.
It doesn't help that one guy's an idiot and you traded away another good shortstop to keep him. But you also didn't know that those things were going to come about. The Rockies, it's great. It's a great opening day story that they come back and win on opening day. But at the heart of the matter, this is still a team that isn't very good, and they needed luck on their side. they needed luck on their side to come back and win after they were piss poor in the 9th inning. You get the bases loaded with no outs against the other team when you're up that much, and Bud Black made a terrible decision leaving Lawrence in. I mean, you got to pull him because you are up by 4 runs. You don't let the winning or tying run get to the plate. And I actually think he walked in or gave up the hit. He gave up the hit that led to the winning run getting to the plate.
Yeah.
I believe he let him have 5 batters, but or 4 batters. It was good to see the Rockies get to get the win. It was, but there's no faith in this team because there's too many holes in this roster, and you had to have a miracle basically happen for you to come back and win this.
No,
and you're hoping on miracles.
What part of a walk-off home run has anything to do with luck?
No. Plenty of them are not lucky. Like, you're just in the right spot. Like, this was literally you had to get the bases loaded again against a closer who is one of their guys who is actually pretty damn good. That's why I mentioned the humidor and the baseballs, because he complained about him after. He really is a really good closer. So it was out of the ordinary. Like, you had to have him walk 3 straight players to get to McMahon. Well, to get to Chris Bryant, who swings 3 times and misses all 3 badly. Strikeouts. Only what was that, 65 or 60 million per swing right there?
Something like that, yeah.
But he did hit a home run. He hit the home run to put the Rockies up by 4 going into the 9th. So the count has begun. Actually, I don't know if he hit any in spring training. I'm sure he hit 1.
I think he hit 3.
Yeah, go. That was my next question.
He'll probably beat that. What's the number? He'll probably beat that record this year. This team they haven't been brought together well, and I likened it to this with someone that I was talking to online. The Rockies gave us the most amazing meal that we ever had in Rocktober. But every time we've gone back to the restaurant, it's been subpar and to the point of being inedible. Yet we continuously go back to that same restaurant over and over again, hoping that they figure it out once again.
Yep.
That's when
staff. It's just the same shitty owner.
That's when I go to Coors Field. I don't spend anything, because if I'm going to be served a crappy meal, you better believe I'm getting it comped. All right. So that's how I liken the Rockies. Dick Monfort's Bar and Grill. Much more bar than grill.
KB did have 3, by the way. I was right.
Okay. But yeah, the team has continuously served me crap year after year after year, with every once in a while getting an okay platter, an okay dish. You had the 2017-18, you had the other postseason one. Like, you've had 3 postseason chances since Rocktober, but I'm over going to the same restaurant for 20 plus years and getting the same crappy meal served to me in hopes that one day they return to form. And we have to remember that one day that the Rockies had Rocktober was a miracle run. We've never seen it in baseball. There's nothing like it. Trust me, it was great to experience. There's nothing like that. But it took a miracle for the Rockies to do what they did. And they were still only a wild card team. Like, it was a miracle.
Yeah, but they could have started that.
Probably never going to happen again in Major League Baseball. Can't say for sure, but probably not.
They also they started the whole change to the rules of the wild card anyway, too, because, they came in hot and everything worked out to their advantage. They swept through the entire National League until they got to the Red Sox, and that's when everything got halted, because the Red Sox still had to play a 7-game series where the Rockies got to sit in October in Denver and cool off, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And on top of that, too, everybody started kind of wondering why wildcard teams should get the same kind of rights as teams that win the division, because, your best is matching up with their best, whereas, you should the wildcard should play into the playoffs and have to adjust themselves accordingly. So, okay, well, I just wanted to be nice for at least 5 minutes, give the Rockies their flowers, and now it's time for Colin to give out flowers.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
That's right, everybody. It is the victory formation, and we head into it. A quick recap of last week's games. Don't have totals yet because the Brahmas are still playing the Showboats. Looks like the Showboats are going to win, but I won't have the total until after. Joe was the only one to pick East Carolina, the Pirates, to beat North Carolina State in baseball. So he won $19.80 on that. NC State beat Duke, which means my Final Four champion winner that I put $5 on to win almost $800 is still alive also. But me and Nick picked Duke in that game. So Joe as NC State with the underdog 132. Nick and I both picked the Dodgers to beat the Cardinals. So we only won $15.88. So far, me and Nick are down $4.12. Still yet to see what happens between Brahmas and Showboats. And Joe is going to win this whole week no matter what. But I will have updated numbers next week after the Brahmas game is over. Showboats are beating the Brahmas, and I was the only one to choose the Memphis and Showboats because I was walking in Memphis. It's 19-14 with 48 seconds left.
Ooh,
so
yeah, not great.
It's not over yet. Like I said, it's not over. But we move on to this week's picks. We start off with the UFL tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. We have the Roughnecks versus the Defenders. Both teams 0-1 looking for their first win. The DC Defenders are favored with -5. I don't know the exact numbers, but DC Defenders are the favorite team being at home. Nick, who you got?
DC.
Joe, who you got?
I historically always pick against DC, so let's go Houston. What's good?
Well, as the only guy who chose Houston as their team for the season.
Oh, that's right. Those are your boys.
I'm going to choose the Roughnecks in this one, even though the Defenders are probably going to beat them. But that's okay. It's much like me picking the Rockies to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks on opening day. We move to Sunday Night Baseball. We have this gives Nick enough time to look at the matchups because he already knew it was going to happen, but he didn't decide to look at it beforehand. We have the Astros versus the Rangers in Arlington. The Battle of Texas forever. Joe, who you got?
Let's take Texas.
Is he frozen?
Joe gets I'm trying to think. He gets the oh my goodness. The team I have the hat on for.
Yeah. Who are they?
Round Rock Express.
They're in Texas. Who do you got, Joe?
Oh, didn't I say? Oh, sorry, I thought I said it's
Oh, you're taking the Texas rate. I thought you were just choosing Texas
No, sorry.
Texas.
Yeah, no, I'll take
You're choosing the Rangers. Okay.
Yeah. That was why I thought for a second. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go with, I also didn't just want to say go Texas.
I thought you were just saying Texas to say you were choosing a team in Texas like you've done before. All right. I am also taking the Rangers in.
You're taking Texas?
Yes. Nick, who you got?
Blanco's coming off of a no. So
you're sticking with the Astros?
Dunning's got a 1-0 record. He didn't look too bad last I saw him pitch, but I don't know. Astros are going to get the win today because John Gray's starting for the Rangers, so I think the Rangers come back tomorrow. So I'm going to stick with the Rangers. Clean sweep.
It's clean sweep, Rangers.
If the Astros were so good, they wouldn't be named after a city in Texas. They would be the Texas Astros. That's all I'm saying.
We move on to men's basketball NCAA tournament. We have the Final Four set, NC State versus Purdue, the Boilermakers against the Wolfpack. Once again, I have money on the NC State Wolfpack to win it all, so I'm just choosing them. I think the Boilermakers beat them, but yeah, I'm picking NC State with my heart, not with my head. Nick, who you got?
NC State's just been too hot. I'm gonna stick with them too.
Joe.
Yeah, I love DJ Burns Jr. So I'm absolutely not picking with my head. NC State.
Oh my God!
No,
I almost want to not just so that we.
You're
don't
okay.
do these
No,
sweeps,
choose
but,
what you want.
No, I like NC State. I want to pick them. Fuck it.
That's
Let's
fair.
go.
All right, we move on to the other one: Alabama versus UConn. Nick, who you got? I can't tell if you're making faces. Nick, who you got?
I said Huskies.
I did not hear you say anything.
I didn't either. It must have glitched out or something.
Joe, who you got?
I'm just fucking with you. I didn't say anything. Let's go. I don't want to pick UConn, but like it's fucking UConn, you know? So I'm gonna take UConn.
I will be the one.
You doing it?
You're
gonna
upset. I'm taking Alabama, my team from last year, who I had a dream they were going to lose to San Diego State, and it was true. And I'm just dreaming that they beat UConn to make it a NC State and Alabama finals game. So give me the upsets all the way, even though nothing like that has happened in the Final Four ever.
I'm upset.
Or in the final game. We move on to the one game that is a championship game: Iowa versus South Carolina. We got the Cox versus the Hawks. Who you got, Joe?
We got the Hawks and the Cox. I don't know anything about. I mean, I guess it's Don Staley, right? So I guess I know that.
The coach
I don't know.
South Carolina, you mean?
Yeah. So
I thought Don Staley left South Carolina, but I could be wrong.
No, she's still there.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I don't know. I guess. No, I'm pretty sure she's still there. But yeah, I'll still take Iowa. It feels like they're destined to do it this year. They're playing really well. You know, Don Staley's still a really good coach, and they're still a really good team, and it'd be really fun to see them kind of get the upset for sure. But you know, it also does kind of seem like they want the Hawkeyes to make the national championship and maybe even win it because they want the ratings. So that's to their advantage.
Well, this is the championship. Not make it. You mean?
Oh, you're right. Okay. But it's to their advantage. I guess at this point, people are going to watch either way. So who cares? But
Joe takes the Hawks. I am going with South Carolina. After last year, I think that I don't know if Caitlin Clark has some jitters in the championship game, but all the pressure's on Iowa. It's not on South Carolina. I think South Carolina plays loose and free and wins this game. Nick, who you got?
Like it.
I'll be different. I'm going to go Iowa.
I mean, when we both pick before you can't really be different because there's only two.
Especially because we pick different. All right, Nick, wrap it up.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Pretty much every Saturday you can catch us. Thanks to everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us. Thank you to our newest sponsor, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Visit e5280sports.com for our podcast if you miss anything.
Yep.
Or any other ones as well. Between the Lines, Gridiron Intel, Wheelhouse,
Not
many more. Joe's being rude over here because he thinks he's enemies with people.
It's more fun this way.
Other places, but as always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you watch out for each other. Enjoy sports because they're fun.
I'm playing baseball tomorrow.